Well done.
Thank you.
At half-time 10-all, was it a similar situation to last week where composure was the key and sticking to your guns?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think we had them under pressure at times in the first half and either dropped the ball or threw away a loose pass or made a poor decision. So it was about creating pressure and then keeping it on them for long enough periods to be able to take advantage of it.
Steve, obvious concerns for Aaron Cruden. What do we know about his situation?
Yeah, Doc has been in touch and it sounds like he's going to be okay. So they're just doing a few other precautionary things at the moment, but the word is he's pretty good.
Who's next?
We'll go. Thank you.
Steve, you said you wanted to see your side raise the game and improve from last week. What sort of significant improvement did you see?
Well, I thought there was a lot more clarity about what we're trying to do, and once we improved, I think the Welsh team did as well. So we scored 5 good tries, and any time you do that in a test match, I think you've got to be reasonably happy with your attack play. And we defended really, really well for long periods of time. Even when the Welsh scored their last try, like we were dominating with our defence, made one small mistake, and they were good enough to penalise us by making the break. So there was big improvements right across the board. Our line-out was a lot better. We managed to put pressure on their ball. They resorted to having to throw the people on the ground. And the scrum, the scrum in the end, we scored 2 great set-piece tries off it. So big improvements there as well.
Question for Ian Foster, Ian over here. Just can you speak to the performance of Seta Tamani Vada being thrust in reasonably early and then having to come back on again a bit later on?
Yeah, look, it's he had good minutes, and it's a good experience for him to get out there again. So he's trained well, and he had a taste of it last week, and I think the fact he's there for a longer time probably he's learned a little bit about Test rugby. He's learned about the line speed coming up the time. He might have to come to the kicking session on Tuesday afternoon, I think. But overall, I thought he put a lot of energy into the game, and whilst it looked like things were happening a bit quick for him at times, overall I think he contributed pretty well.
Sav?
Ian, how impressed and how crucial was Wyn Barrett's performance in the minutes he saw?
Played really well, and he, I think when he went on, he was similar to a lot of us, a lot of the backs, where we're just struggling to get rhythm and find out how to get the ball to the space we needed to. But once he got his head around it and regrouped, I thought he looked really sharp. He carried the ball strong and made some good decisions, particularly with his passing game. So overall, he played the sort of game we'd expect him to, but it's great to see him look composed in that 10 jersey.
John? Sorry, got another question, Sav.
Steve, defensively, apart from those couple of late tries, I suppose, how happy with things on that front?
Yeah, a lot more cohesiveness and a lot more intensity in the hit, and we didn't get many rewards for getting over the ball, but we'll have a look at that and see why not. But we're certainly a lot more dominating tackles than there were last week. Last week we spent most of the time scrambling. This week we came forward and put pressure on.
Away go, John.
Kieran, can you talk us through, you were pretty happy after that try to Waisaki Naholo and just that 10-minute period where you were able to score 3 tries?
Yeah, I think it's always pretty crucial in that kind of period just after half time. I felt, the game's obvious in the balance on the scoreboard, and just to get a bit of momentum, I think we just settled into our work a bit better. And I think for an 8, it's always pretty pleasing when you score off a scrum. And so to do it a couple of times in a row, it's always puts a smile on the face.
Go, Ross.
Ian, just a comment on Israel Dagg, particularly what his kicking game, I suppose, brought to the way you guys performed.
I thought he had an outstanding game, really. His kicking game he's always been a great punter, and particularly in those windy conditions, he dealt with that really, really well, and relieved a lot of pressure at key times, and his organisation at the back was quality, and it was good to see him running around with the ball and look for a few opportunities. So we're delighted with him.
Nige?
Steve, has the team done enough in the first 2 tests to warrant, or give you the opportunity to maybe have a look at some other players when you get to Dunedin? Can you execute your pre-series selection plan?
By saying that, it sounds like we had one, but
Probably do.
we'll see how everyone pulls up tomorrow and start thinking about that then. We've got some ideas of what we'd like to do, but we'll just see what the injury front's like and where we need to go.
Way to go, Dan.
Just was the doc able to clarify what Aaron had actually done to his knee? What the status is?
Well, when he got tackled, Luke Charter was by accident, nothing deliberate. He ended up catching him and sort of bending his neck over and his body weight came on top of it. So there was a bit of a crack, but by all accounts, back at the hospital there's nothing that's damaged. So from a broken point of view, so they're all pretty positive about that. So he's got the all clear at this stage.
And Fikatoa, was that facial cuts, was it, that he went off and then also didn't come back on the second half? Was that the same reason?
Yeah, he had a bad bleeding. He had a bad cut, which was bleeding a lot, and they stitched that up. But he also got a bang in the leg, so that's why he eventually didn't come back on. They cleared the blood up again at half time, but we just felt it was better to leave him off with his bang on his leg and carry on.
Andrew.
Carrying up to 2 games, is there still a bit of frustration around that breakdown area? And the way it's policed, I suppose, at test match level?
No, I think it's about finding the balance, I guess. When it comes to this level, I think Yako's obviously want to let the game flow, and I think he did a great job at that. So you've just got to understand that that's perhaps where they're going to go, and I think it's creating a pretty exciting series. It's pretty tough, pretty quick because of the fact that there's not too many penalties there. So you've got to be a bit stronger, I guess, if you want to try and slow down their ball, or on our side of things, you've got to be pretty accurate because Kings are getting in the way, stopping us clean out the ball and getting some quick balls. So we just got to be smarter, I guess, at doing that.
John, we'll have a couple more questions. John, way to go.
Steve, is there still plenty of improvement left in this side?
Oh yeah, of course there is. I mean, it's only the second game of the season, so you'd expect a lot of improvement.
Who's got the last question? Patrick?
Steve, is Aaron Smith all right? Did we get a bang, or is there anyone else in any injury concerns there?
So you went for the 2-in-1 question there, Petty. Good work. Aaron's okay. He got a bit of a dead leg, but he's all right. It was only precaution we took him off. He could have stayed out there. And yet, there's nothing else that's jumping out and hitting us on the face, but they'll be sore because it was a physical test match, and you'd expect that, but we'll see how everyone pulls up in the morning.
Thanks everyone. We'll have players in after the Welsh press.
Thank you.